I don't know if I should continue with the baseball talk. Of course, we are going to be talking to Josh Brown of Nakahoma Nation. Since being of the Rays, somehow they've fallen 2 games back, and it's just the Yankees, even without Aaron Judge and all this, continue to win. I've never heard that before. Here's the this is who the Yankees have on the shelf, and they're in first place, and they've got a .653 winning percentage, which is 20 points behind the surprising Minnesota Twins, who hit 8 home runs yesterday. Talk a little bit about that. That was a franchise record. But it goes, we began the show with, everybody wants to be Adam Dunn or Pedro Alvarez. I remember when the idea was, Pedro Alvarez isn't a fundamental enough hitter. He had led the National League in home runs. Pirates wanted to ship him out. He doesn't play good enough defense. This sort of strikes out. Only it's .230. That's the league average now. Actually, one wins above replacement, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. It's hard to argue with league's leading home run hitter. Anyway, the Yankees are 32-17. Twins are 33-16. But check out this injured list. Can we go back to the disabled list, please? All right, here we go. Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, Masahiro Tanaka, Didi Gregorius, James Paxton, and CC Sabathia all are on the shelf, and the Bronx Bombers lead the Rays by 2 games, and the Red Sox by 5.5. And even though the Blue Jays are calling up a lot of exciting prospects, they're 10 under, and they're not going to go anywhere. They're already 12.5 out, and it's not even a third of the way through the year. And then through 50 games, with 112 left to play, the Baltimore Orioles are 17.5 back. Orioles have been, it's hard to believe that as recently as 2012, the Orioles were in the postseason. Remember that? Showalter wouldn't use his closer in a tie game. Modern day managing, Blue Jays won. And the wild card game, they went all the way to the championship series where they lost to the Indians in 5. But nevertheless, that seems like, really, the Orioles were in the playoffs in 2016? You mean the Orioles have been in the playoffs since Cal Ripken played? Really? That's what it's like. Anyway, and yeah, it just does seem like, okay, yes, the Yankees in first place, even with the Red Sox winning the World Series last year, and winning the World Series, 4 times since they reversed the curse in 2004, and that's, 3 more times than the Bombers have. So you start saying to yourself, wait a minute, but it feels like, for whatever reason, Yankees in first, Orioles in last, that's the natural order of things. Anyhow, Stanton's rehab assignment has been put on hold. Let me just give you this injured list for the Yankees and show you just how impressive this is. It's been put on hold because of left calf tightness. Yankees announced this week. And he was playing, rehab ball down in Tampa, which is a Class A league, Florida State League. But he's been on the injured list, has Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, since early April. So almost 2 months on the disabled list. I'm going to be old-fashioned. I don't care what anybody says. And the Yankees are 32-17. Aaron Judge, well, he's got a little bit more on-field activity. Judge is not ready to swing the bat, though. But his manager, Aaron Boone, says he's getting ready in that, area. Because Judge was in a simulated game, basically to track pitches during Tanaka's bullpen session earlier this week at Camden Yards. Then he played catch, he ran. Judge isn't playing. No word really on when he'll be back. Masahiro Tanaka, he's been cleared to return to the mound this week. He's in the rotation. Yanks have won 5 in a row. He was on the bump last night when the Bombers beat the Orioles yet again, 10th time in 12 games this year. Right-hander had a right shin contusion, got hit in the leg off a ball hit by Tampa's Yandy Diaz, or shall I say Tampa Bay's Yandy Diaz. They actually play in St. Petersburg, you see. Gregorius has had Tommy John series. Tommy John series. He's had Tommy John surgery. He did get back in the lineup this week as a DH. CC Sabathia, this is his last year. He said he expects to end up on the injured list. He's got a bad right knee, and he's in getting treatment today, as a matter of fact. So, I mean, that's a lot of players that are out. A lot of good players are out for the Yankees. They're 32-17. They're in first place by 2 games over the Rays, who are playing 6-17 ball. Yeah. So, that's good enough for the wild card. I said the Braves a game and a half back after they won last night. They also, if the season ended today, would be, they'd clinched the last wild card berth. They've won 7 out of their last 10, including their last game, which was against the San Francisco Giants. Let me give you some of the highlights. Again, it was the Austin Riley show for those of you who maybe, I don't know, sleep late or whatever. Didn't see it on the coast, that sort of thing. I get that. And if the world's slowest computer will help me out, I'll have some highlights for you here in just a second. Assuming that the world's slowest computer also participates and helps me out there. I want to remind you, Josh Brown will talk baseball with me, especially the Braves, at 1:30 on this show. I'm Marky Billson, and Josh Brown does a little podcast with his friend Ken Hendricks. That sounds very patronizing. It's actually a very good podcast with his friend Ken Hendricks, talking Atlanta Braves baseball and all things. He's been getting, evidently, out in San Francisco, there were fans who did not like the tomahawk chop. Imagine that. Fans in San Francisco would, find oh, that's offensive! Needles on the street? No. Feces on the street? No. Should we have a needle park? No, that's not offensive, but, people going into restaurants in the nude? No, that's not, So anyhow. By the way, let's look at a couple of other things. Are we getting that up here? By the way, the Mets, who beat the Nationals, are only a game under 500, but still it seems so far away. And they're down Robinson, Cano, Brandon Nimmo, and all this. Actually, Cano departed Wednesday's game after 3 innings due to a tight left quad. And Nimmo's on the 10-day injured list dating back to Wednesday. There you go. Jose Altuve is out for the Astros. He did baseball drills on the field on Wednesday. And he's going to be going to a rehab assignment soon. Strained left hamstring. He's been out since May 11th. I mean, there's been a lot of really good ball players that have been missing time. I mean, look at J.D. Martinez of the Red Sox. And he has missed 3 straight games dating back to, on Wednesday, he missed his 3rd straight game. He had a bad back. It happens even to Major League Baseball players, if you can believe that. So, there you are. I'm Marky Billson, Tri-City Sports Now, and as I'm waiting for the world's slowest computer to load, here we are, so I can play you some highlights of yesterday's baseball action, especially those with the Atlanta Braves. I could tell you a few things keeping with a baseball theme, which we really haven't talked that much about. And we're going to Memorial Day, for crying out loud. Season's 50 games old. Time to start talking hardball. And of course, NASCAR does not seem like it has an off season. There maybe are those who say it does not, but no. NASCAR, they're going into the Coca-Cola 600, and you've heard Matt Polly talk about that on his sportscasts so far today. I guess the world's slowest computer will not be assisting me right here. So I want to tell you, I've got some more football news. I've got, I was going to tell you about Michael Avenatti yesterday. Gerald McCoy, angrily cut by the Buccaneers, and yes, Sue did sign with the Bucs yesterday. We mentioned that he was going to do that here on Tri-City Sports Now. But McCoy might be going, well, there are several teams that are interested in him, but one in particular, which has become all of a sudden the glamour spot to go to in the NFL. And it's got a Tennessee tie. It's not the Titans, no, but it's got a Tennessee tie. I'm sure that you can try to figure that out on what team it is that, really are doing, what can I tell you, doing some things that people did not foresee, if you will, just a few years ago. As a new high school basketball coach, I'm going to have something to say about that. We'll be talking about that in the future, and hopefully the world's slowest computer will be working when I come back so that I can play you some highlights, like Austin Riley's game-winning hit and a 5-4 Braves win from last night. They won 5-4, right? Okay. We'll have all of that when we return. Tri-Cities Sports Now.